Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning. It is first of all, it is December 2nd. Good morning. Good morning. And I didn't have an opportunity to go live recently because I just been in here, just all the things going on. But I wanted to stop in this morning about my post this morning because I put up a post and it said that I threw in the towel and God threw the towel back to me and told me to wipe my face off, right? So I wanted to talk about that this morning, really briefly, about throwing in the towel, y'all, because I came, I want to say it was a couple of weeks back, and I did a live, and I was talking about, God told me to come show you guys a face of someone who is going through healing, and I was like, yeah, today, I was like, let me come and tell them. During that time, I was like at my wit's end. Like I was like, I'm throwing in I'm tired. Like I really, really was in a like a dark space, so to speak. The last couple, I would say from like end of August, September, maybe up until recently, like I was really going through it. And I almost threw in the towel, y'all. I almost threw in the towel. I was like, I didn't sign up for this, Lord. Like I didn't sign up for this. And I wanted to come and talk about that for a second because there was a lot of things that took place. Because so often when we get in the midst of a storm, it gets so heavy, we want to give up. And I'm going to tell you what happened to me. There was two things that really happened, but I'm going to share, just two of them, right? Number one, I was going through a really bad, and somebody who I knew was like, "Oh, you haven't gone live in a minute. You haven't, did different things," because I do different things with different people. And I was just like, man, I can't. She called me on the Sunday morning, and I'm like, I don't have it in me, like I was done, It was one of those things where I was thankful for her because I'm the strong friend, right? So, they always be like, check on the strong friend. That's really real, y'all. Check on the strong friend. But she called me and she said something to me that really kind of like jarred me. She said, if you give up, who will we have? Like if you stop, we're all going to be lost. Like if you stop, and it was like, it was one of those things where I had to sit back and be like, man, I had to really think about the fact that, there's people who really need me. And why am I sharing that with you today? It's not about me. I'm sharing it with you to help you understand that now is not the time for you to give up. There are people who need you. There are people who depend on your voice, depend on your love. You know what I'm saying? That really, really need you. Bigger than all of that, I always say you need you first. And there's someone who needs you. If you give up, what will your children do? If you stop, what will your friends do? If you quit, what will your significant other do? If you give up, what will your parents do? Because a lot of times we think that they don't need us, they do. Right? If you stop, there's someone who needs you. There's something, a gift that you have that's uniquely yours, that belongs to you, that someone needs. So if you stop, if you quit, if you give up, what happens to those people? But bigger than that, what happens to you? Right? Those are the things that I had to start to really open up my mind to, right? So as I started opening up my mind to that, I started to think like, why am I going through all of this? And it's funny because I was in class and they started talking about why God led his people through the wilderness, right? And so they started talking about the fact that, we give the devil a lot of credit. We really do. Devil, negative entity, what do you want to call it? You give it a lot, we give it a lot of credit. It's like, well, the devil. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's God taking you through the wilderness to see, to humble you, to test you, to see what your heart truly is made of. Oh, let's talk about the heart. Because as you're going through what you're going through, whether you feel someone did something to you or not, what do you do with that? What do you allow your heart to do? Because when they talk about as a man thinketh, right, he becomes whatever version you want to listen to that. But what does the heart speak? See, I wasn't paying attention to some things, and God really had to sit me down for a second and really, you're not paying attention to how the heart speaks with these particular people or this person when they're going through trials. Because when somebody's up, You don't really know. You know, when somebody's like up and they're feeling good or they're putting on for you, you don't really know what they're like, right? But when something happens and trials come, what happens with their heart? What does their heart do? What do they speak out of their mouth, right? So I'll give an example. I was working with somebody last night, my client who I love, and she's probably gonna listen to this today, but I gotta use you for a second, boo. So she was talking about how she was going through a situation where she got into an argument with someone that, you know, she's seeing, and everything, she had a hard time being vulnerable, as a lot of us do, right? When we're in relationships, we have a hard time being vulnerable and really sharing yourself with someone, right? And she shared some really big secrets with this person. And she said, you know, they got into it, and everything that she had told him, he threw in her face. Woo! The heart speaks. What happens when the person gets hurt? What do they do? What do they say to you about what they do to others? Because a lot of times we get into these situations, whether it's friends or people in our jobs or whatever, and we hear how they talk about someone else, and you think, well, that's not going to happen to me because I have a good heart. I'm a good person. They're not going to do that to me. Listen, God really was like, you got to pay attention. What happens? What do they do? What do they say? That's so important. A lot of times we want to act as if they won't gossip about you. Well, if they're talking about them, trust and believe they're going to talk about you. Trust and believe that if you get into a relationship with someone, right, whatever, male or female, doesn't matter, and they come in as a walking red flag is what I call that, and they're talking about all the stuff about the ex and all of the things, and you think that's not going to happen to you because you got a good heart. And now you find yourself in that situation because that's who they truly are. But you thought it wasn't happening with you. So these are the things that sometimes when you're in the wilderness, like, you know, God's trying to open your ears and your eyes to see beyond what someone's showing you in a moment, right? Because oftentimes people reveal who they are in the toughest of times, whether there's a tough time with you or they're going through tough times, right? What are they saying? What are they doing? Like, I really had to see some things, right? And then also open my, what do I do? Because we can talk about other people, but let's talk about us. What do I do? So I have a tendency when I'm going through things of just looking at myself. I really do. Like it's like, it depends, right? Sometimes in the beginning, I'm like, okay, you know, I'll see what the other person is said or did. But then I'm also like the type, like, I'm like, okay, well, why is that in my life? Why am I allowing that? What is it about this person or this place or this thing that has me drawn to it, right? So I tend to look at myself, and that's where you typically should be. Hello, somebody. Why am I sharing all this? Because somebody right now is walking through the wilderness and they think it's the devil coming against them. They think it's the negative entities. They think it's the people, but truly it's God trying to open up your eyes to the people and places, the things that you are around. Why are you feeling the way you're feeling? Why is your body responding the way it's responding? How is your heart responding? How is their heart responding? Pay attention. Don't go in the past and don't go in the future. When you're in the middle of that conversation, stay present because someone is not present. Why can I speak this? Because I wasn't present. I wasn't present. And I wasn't paying attention to what the heart was saying until I had to pay attention to what the heart was saying. Same as my client last night, because she had heard these things before. She had heard him speak many times, his heart speak before, but we thought it wasn't going to happen to us. He would never. But the other thing to this is, the other side to this is, don't allow someone, this is the message, don't allow someone's behavior force you to want to throw in the towel. Don't allow someone's behavior, someone who has an unclean heart, allow you to throw it in the towel and not believe that there is a love that's equated to you that's out there. There is someone that's out there who will love you on the level that you are in. Someone who will come in with a partnership, someone that you won't have to drag, someone you won't have to fix up or clean up, or you feel like it's a project. First of all, no one should feel like a project to you, okay? So don't allow a person's behavior to change your heart. Don't throw in the towel. Someone needs you. Don't allow that situation on your job. Because so many of us go through this thing where we're going through things on our job. Listen, right now as we speak, I'm in telecom industry, and we had I don't know how many people, I want to say thousands of people leave, and their last day was Monday. And I'm like, wow. So now I'm kind of stuck doing the job of really and truly 7 people, right? But I'm not going to allow that to make me want to quit. You understand what I mean? Don't allow these things to pull you backwards, to pull you negative. Let it open your eyes and maybe ask the question of why. What is it that you're trying to show me? So that's what it leads to ask God, what are you trying to show me? What are you trying to open up my eyes to? What is it that I need to see? So start to question instead of allowing it to change your heart, because that's what what was happening to me. I was allowing it to change my heart. I was about to throw in the towel on many different levels with many different things. I was like, I had it. But I had to open up my eyes and start to question some things. Start to question what I'm around. Start to question what I'm listening to. Why am I in the wilderness? What are you trying to show me? And there's another thing. This is one of the biggest points. Because a lot of times we go through things and then we come out on the other side and we're good. We think we're good. We're like, I got it. And then we forget. We forget who brought us through. And then the pride and the ego steps in. And pride and ego goes before what? The fall. And sometimes you have to go through the fall and back through the wilderness because you forget. You get too big for your britches, so to speak. And it's okay to be proud of the things that you've accomplished, but it's never okay for you to forget to give God the glory. Because you think you're that smart that you got through it on your own? Or you think you're that big that thing came to you all by yourself? Really? I don't care who you call your God. I never called out a name, but don't ever get too big for your britches to understand that you did not come through that thing that you went through all by yourself. You did not get through that last depression. You did not get through the grief of losing a family member or get through the breakup all by yourself. There was someone who was there, who was holding you up, who had your back through it all. But now that you're on the other side and you're making a little bit of money, or you have a new person in your life, right? You're with someone you consider a trophy, whatever, and now you're too big for your britches. You forget. Let us never forget who was there for us. Let us never forget. And I'm talking about God. And stop making people your God. How about that? Okay? So let's stop giving the negative energy, the devil, so much credit. Sometimes you are being brought through the wilderness to humble, test you, see where your heart is. Have you forgotten? Have you forgotten who fed you? Have you forgotten who brought you through the last time? Can God count on you? Are you going to be obedient even in the wilderness? Are you going to complain? Are you going to quit? These are the questions. So that's my message for today. And it's all stemmed because, honest to goodness, y'all, I was ready to throw in the towel. I was ready to quit. And there was someone that my angels sent to remind me. So I'm coming today to remind you, somebody needs you. Don't give up and don't quit. It's not over yet. And you ask me, because I hear the question, how do I know it's not over? Because you have breath. And I will always say that as long as you have breath, that means you have another second, another minute, another hour, and another day to better your best. So I love you. I hope you have the most amazing Thursday. We're going to finish out 2021 strong. Finish out the year strong. Stop waiting for 2022 to do that thing. Do it today. I love you guys. Talk to you later.